for Friday's jackpot could be $50 million. Good luck, kid. Play on, America.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
That kind of dog I probably would never let near my grandkids.
Developing at 11, a 7-month-old infant is dead after a violent dog attack in Martinez. Tonight, we're hearing from neighbors.
The first widespread death.
10 minutes.
New details tonight in a deadly dog attack in Martinez that killed a 7-month-old baby girl today.
It happened around noon on the 3700 block of Columbia Drive. That dog, an American Bulldog Great Pyrenees mix, and attacked both the infant and the grandmother who was watching her at the time.
Our Craig Allison was in the neighborhood all afternoon where people are obviously shaken.
And that really broke my heart.
Tim Jardine lives just down the street from the neighbor whose dog killed an infant today. He's lived here all his life and even cut the neighbor's grass. He remembers when the pet owner was having a seizure. When paramedics arrived, he could tell the dog was fierce.
Me and my friend occupied the dog for them to get in there and get to the woman, get her out, get her checked out, and get her to the hospital.
His sister-in-law, who lives opposite from him on the same road, agrees the dog has a history.
It won't let anyone come near anybody, which, I guess dogs are supposed to be protective, but that dog can be a little more overprotective, like in a vicious way.
But for now, all they can do is hope something like this won't happen again.
The child didn't deserve that. And if that dog was as vicious, the dog did wrong. He used to be put to sleep.
In Martinez,
My heart goes out to their family.
Craig Allison, on your side.
Tonight, a community also coming together to remember the life and legacy of 25-year-old Alan Newsom.
Newsom was found shot, and he was found killed in his driveway at his home in Hepzibah. That was last Friday.
Our Maria Sellers was there today. His friends and family came together for a balloon release today as they grieved and tried to search for answers.
It just seemed unreal.
Balloons filled the sky near the Diamond Lakes Park in Hepzibah as family and friends gathered to remember 25-year-old Alan Newsom. His cousin didn't want to go on camera, but wanted everyone to know how special Alan was.
He was just an overall good person, took his shirt off his back, loved his kids.
A classmate says he will be remembered for being a great friend and an even better dad to his 2 daughters.
Yeah, he was a great father. That father award could go to him.
He worked as a nurse at the Eisenhower Army Medical Center, and a lot of his co-workers showed up to show their support today.
He was renowned for his smile and just jumping in and doing whatever needed to be done with a can-do attitude. Oh, he had a very compassionate heart. He took care of patients like he was taking care of a family member.
It's a loss being felt by everyone he worked with.
I'm proud to say that I had the privilege to work with him, and we all miss him very much, and we're saddened by what has happened.
And his family members and friends say the care he gave others was given to him in return.
Just shows that he was very loved by the community. Anywhere he went, he touched everybody's spirit.
And it's a legacy that will not soon be forgotten. Reporting in Hepzibah, Maria Sellers, on your side.
We did reach out to the sheriff's office as of tonight. They still don't have anyone in custody. Friends and family encouraging anyone with information to contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
Such a bizarre story that a lot of people are wanting answers to. An Aiken County deputy off the job and facing criminal charges. The sheriff's office tells us Justin Rutland resigned yesterday. He started working for the department back in 2012 and was assigned to the Special Operations Division. We've reached out to the sheriff's office to learn exactly what those charges are related to. Also, an officer with the Millen Police Department has resigned. The police chief tells us he learned about a video involving Officer Ben Thompson. The chief was set to meet with Officer Thompson about the video, but he resigned before that meeting could ever happen.
Ukraine on the op picks up tomorrow morning.
New 11, we have an update on the historic Bonnier Apartments. The new owners have been working on fixing that rundown complex, but may not come fast enough. Recently, an Augusta commissioner went on an inspection with the Augusta Fire Department. They found more than 19 code violations. And as you can see in some of these pictures, it has been a circle of controversy since December of last year when we found out 156 police reports were filed in just a 1-mile radius of those apartments.
Augusta Regional Airport getting ready for Masters Week and all those travelers who will be coming into the city. They're adding more flights heading into that tee-off time. Delta and American Airlines adding direct flights from New York, Miami, Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, and for the first time, Austin, Texas. That's a lot of flights there. We call up with airport officials about what other efforts you're making to make traveling a little easier into Augusta.
We also have some new amenities. One is our baggage claim. We recently renovated that with larger carousels. That way people can get their bags a little quicker.
There are tons of upgrades rolling out, and we'll tell you more about those closer to Masters Week.
A new bus app is giving...
Well, heading into tomorrow, strong storms will be possible. Campbell had a few warnings out there heading into our Wednesday afternoon. Take a look at who has that greatest risk coming up just after the break.
And still to come, new video showing the damage and also the tornado in action that caused it. We have that story coming after the break.
Imagine yourself in a new...
Get ready for a very breezy and cooler Saturday.
I want to give you another look at that storm system Riley's been talking about earlier this evening in New Orleans. The news team there spotting a massive tornado during their storm coverage on their tower cam. You can see the tornado right there on the ground near the city's 9th ward where they say there's some damage. Our sister station in New Orleans reporting significant damage in the path of that storm, with more sightings reported in other parishes as well, but there's no word tonight on the injuries. People across the south bracing for this dangerous weather as a line of severe weather makes its way across the southeast.
And that weather system, as we've shown you, has already produced a powerful line of tornadoes that left at least one person dead, destroying dozens of homes in Texas and Mississippi, and we are still not sure of the extent of the damage in New Orleans and Louisiana. Chris Van Cleve has a look at the damage a little further west.
Workers and homeowners returned to this neighborhood in Round Rock, Texas, near Austin, looking to salvage what's left, hours after Monday's tornadoes tore through central Texas and Oklahoma.
There was a tornado right outside my window, coming right for the van, so I grabbed my stuff as fast as I could.
Somehow the person in this truck was able to drive away after a tornado flipped in Elgin. The National Weather Service says multiple tornadoes touched down in the region.
I have issued a disaster declaration for 16 counties at this time. Whatever need anybody has as a result of this storm, we have the capability of delivering that support for them.
This school in Jacksboro, Texas, lost its roof and some walls when a tornado roared through. This is what's left of the elementary school gymnasium. Hundreds of people were on the other side taking shelter from the storm. The police chief even got emotional thinking about how all of those folks walked away without injuries. Cars in the school parking lot were tossed and flipped upside down. Your family is here. You're holding the bumper of your car in your hand. What goes through your mind?
This weather's safe.
Wasn't never expecting this. Not one. You know, Jasper never had a tornado.
Southern Oklahoma also reported damage. A tornado cut a quarter-mile swath of destruction through the town of Kingston, leveling businesses. Forecasters say this same storm system now threatens Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Jacksboro, Texas.
A lot of damage on the ground there. More than a dozen injuries reported in Texas, and officials say that number will only continue to grow.
Really hoping we dodge a bullet tomorrow. We're still watching the conditions.
And nothing else that we know of as you move out of Texas into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. We're still waiting for those numbers to come in.
Yeah. Strong winds and a bounce house flying in North Carolina. This is Ring camera video as that inflatable is sent flying through the air. The parents come flying out of the house, watch this, thinking that their child was inside of that. The child was playing in the backyard. Can you imagine seeing that? Thankfully, he was not.
I was right there. Then it just did that.
Gut-wrenching feeling of seeing how close he was. The company that owns the inflatable told them not to use it if the winds got higher than 10 miles an hour, and reports say winds were starting to gust up to 30 and 40 miles an hour, but a good warning for parents out there.
No match for the wind, even if it is tied down. 2 people dead after a crane collapses in Florida. This is the scene of that construction site in Boynton Beach. Officials say the 2 who died were construction workers there. Their names are not yet being released. What exactly went wrong there with that crane and how those workers died, all that is still under investigation.
A suspected gunman is in custody after a SWAT standoff and a hostage situation shut down all lanes of I-85 in Norcross early this afternoon.
Massive backups on the interstate there. The standoff lasted for more than 4 hours. Officers responded to a man armed with a gun inside a Greyhound bus on the northbound ramp to Indian Trail, Lilburn Road exit. Law enforcement using a flashbang to get that gunman off the bus. Nearly 30 people were on board the bus at some point. We're told all of them made it off. All of them are safe.
Before we hit the break, here's a live look in Denver. And
Plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect premium maintenance plan on F-150.
Tonight, DHEC is warning parents to watch out for chickenpox. A couple of outbreaks spreading across South Carolina. They also ask parents to update their child's vaccinations to limit that spread.
Are your headlights too bright? Tonight, General Motors is taking over 740,000 SUVs off the road, saying their lights can be too bright for oncoming drivers. This affects GMC Terrain SUVs, ones made in 2010 through 2017. You can call your local GM dealership for more information on the recall.
To sports now, the Jags looking for a spot in the D2 Final Four tonight. Plus, a local boxer looks to build momentum after his first professional win. That's all ahead. Next with Nick.
Lewis's next fight is this Saturday at the Buckhead Fight Club in Atlanta. He says he's then looking at an April 2nd as a possible date for yet another fight. And Lewis hopes to one day use his platform to encourage other kids who may be going down the wrong path that there are better options out there. Let's check in with Augusta University in Evansville now for the Elite Eight. This game just going final here in the last couple minutes. AU picking up the win over Chico State, 81-69. They are headed to the Final Four for the first time since 2009. The Jags will face off against Indiana University of Pennsylvania in the Final Four. And a thing to note, undefeated Nova Southeastern lost earlier today. So that means the number 1 seed is out, meaning this bracket is wide open. The win tonight was head coach Dimitris's 400th career win at AU. The Hawks moved to 500 tonight with a win over the Knicks in a rematch of last year's first-round playoff series. Both of these teams have had down years, but Atlanta is firmly in the 10th spot in the conference, meaning they'll likely be in the play-in tournament. Trae Young led the way with 45 for Atlanta. Bogey chipped in 32 off the bench in the win. Next up for the Hawks, a trip to Detroit for a matchup with Pistons tomorrow. Finally tonight, Braves fans might not like the look of this one. This will take some getting used to. Freddie Freeman making his Dodgers spring training debut tonight. Freeman went 1 for 2 with a single on the afternoon against the Reds. But the Dodgers lost this game, and the Braves won today. So, do with that information what you will, Riley.
All right, appreciate that, Nick. Remember, folks, we are expecting some strong storms tomorrow and then into the weekend. We do cool down behind the storms. Still going to be very breezy Saturday, so a heads up. It will be sunny, but very gusty outside. Another look at that severe weather threat tomorrow.